If your YouTube ads are not getting you any listings, then you are in the right place, because in this video I'll be breaking down the 5 biggest mistakes that realtors make when they're running YouTube ads, and I'll also be giving you the solutions to these problems and show you how you can avoid making these mistakes in the first place. Now, my name is Aaron Chandra. I'm the founder of Lead Gen Pros, where we've used paid ads to generate over 10,000 real estate leads while adding a combined multi-7 figures in GCI for all of our clients over the past 5 years. Now that that's out of the way, let's get straight into the video. The number one mistake that I see realtors making is not testing multiple pieces of front-end creative. And this is a pretty big rookie mistake that I see a lot of agency owners who are new to YouTube ads make, or realtors who are just getting into YouTube ads for the very first time. Now remember, the goal of testing good creative is to find something that resonates with your target audience. And if you just record one piece of front-end creative, it's like trying to guess someone's color on the very first attempt. Are you going to get some people right on the first try? Like, maybe, right? But chances are that it won't really happen on the first go, just because people respond differently to different messaging, targeting, scripting, and so forth. So if you're running a campaign with just one creative, it might not do very well. And if you don't have other options to test, you're kind of handcuffed, right? So the obvious fix here is just to record multiple pieces of creative. On the very low side, as a minimum, test at least 3 to 5 pieces of front-end creative. Typically we test at least 10, but I have agency friends who test 20, 25, or even 30 pieces of front-end creative every time they launch a new client. Couple examples of things you can do if you don't want to go too hard, like do too many variations, is just change your camera angle, film in a different environment, use a different hook, change your call to action, and so forth, right? Those are a couple things that you can switch up there. Now, if you do this, it's going to give you some flexibility so you can make more data-driven decisions instead of playing the guessing game. So you can launch 5 pieces of creative, let it run for 2, 3, 4 weeks, see what gets the best clicks, pause the losers, keep going with the winners, make more variations of the winners. That is the process of testing and creating good front-end ads. On to number 2. All right, mistake number 2 is not split testing your targeting. Now, this is a pretty big rookie mistake. We see it happen all the time, especially with new agency owners, again, with some realtors when they're getting into YouTube ads, but you are losing out on a ton of deal flow because your lead cost is going to be too high when you don't split test. And when you split test targeting, you're actually going to have a chance to decrease your lead cost, and here is an example. Right, if your ideal leads are in a specified area, but for example, Google's algorithm is targeting a different area, you are in theory missing out on all the leads in this area. Now, this is a really simplified example, just talking about geographic targeting, but there's also a ton of other things that you can split test, like age, income levels, interest, geographic location, like I showed you above, and search terms. Search terms when it comes to Google, the Google ecosystem or YouTube ads, are huge. There are in-market audiences, there's search terms, there's a ton of different things that you can do. There is no really, one winner in each market. You really do have to truly split test and see what works in your specific market. The complicated part here is that you actually do typically have to test a few different variations. And ultimately your campaign, if that's your campaign, you're gonna have different ad groups with different targeting. That's why in the end you'll end up running 5, 10, 15 individual ads at any given time until you find a winner. So I know this seems a little bit complex, so if you want someone with some experience to do this for you, click the link below and I will personally, me as Aaron, I will audit your ads 100% for free. Number 3, overcomplicated editing. All right, so one of the things you need to keep in mind when it comes to YouTube is we're not targeting people who are just doom scrolling like they are on TikTok or Instagram, right? You're targeting typically, an older and more mature audience, 25 to 35 and up, typically. And most people who are on YouTube are usually there with intent and not just to scroll through, mindless posts like they are on other platforms, which means that making those fancy cuts and adding the trendy sound effects and obnoxious background music and fancy motion graphics and so forth is not the play when it comes to running YouTube ads. Trust me, I made that mistake as I transitioned from Facebook and Instagram and TikTok over to YouTube, and my lead costs were really high. I toned things down and saw a very positive decrease in my lead cost, right? So that kind of stuff works on those platforms, so keep it on short form, just not effective on YouTube as a platform. Here's a couple things that you can do to improve your ad creative. So really just make your message easy to follow. Don't have any fancy effects. Use minimal text. So if you're having subtitles, just keep it a very simple style, like long form, not those fast subtitles where it's like 1 word a second. And add a few simple animations that might actually help with the comprehension of what you're saying, but light B-roll, and that's really it. All right, mistake number 4, this is a huge one, and it is not split testing your landing page, because you might have the best ad, but if your landing page doesn't convert, that's one of the reasons you could be getting a ton of clicks, but a lack of opt-ins, right? And here's a great analogy that your ad might be the most amazing thing ever, but your landing page sucks, right? So in terms of split testing your landing page, here's some of the things you're going to want to do. You don't have to focus on the entire page. You literally can just focus on the headline, making some tweaks to your call to action, maybe changing some of the design, the buttons, the layout, how you're capturing the client's information. But really the headline, changing that alone, you'd be very surprised to see what kind of impact that can have on your click-through rate, or sorry, your submissions, right? And even subtle changes can have big impacts. So it's important to always keep testing and iterating. And even these 2, 3, 4, 5% changes have a really big impact when you're talking about thousands or tens of thousands of impressions every single week. All right, here's mistake number 5. This is a really sneaky one because when it comes to YouTube ads, not many people are aware of this. A lot of people just use the default placements that YouTube offers. And if you're used to running Facebook ads, you typically could have used advantage placements and that would work pretty well. But with YouTube, you want to stay away from that. So there's one single change that you're going to make that's going to have a pretty big impact. So typically when you're setting targeting for devices, you'll want to check off computers and mobile phones for sure 100%. You can even check off tablets if people are watching YouTube on their iPad, but you're definitely going to want to uncheck TV screens because if you think about it, someone sees your ad on the TV, it's cool for brand awareness, hey, I'm on the TV, but if you think about it, how is somebody going to click through, opt in on your ad, enter their name, email, and phone number while they're watching you on TV? They are probably not. So save your hard-earned ad dollars and remove TV screens as a placement. And alternatively, you can look this up on Google, but you can also exclude your ads from being shown on YouTube's partner networks. There is a string of code you can put in, a little bit more of an advanced technique, but you want to make sure if you're running YouTube ads, your ads are shown on YouTube and not all these external sites. Right, so number 5, pretty big one. Not sure if you knew that one, but make sure you add that next time you run some ads. So those are the 5 biggest mistakes that you might be making when it comes to YouTube ads. But everything I've just told you is 100% useless if you don't know the technical side of running YouTube ads in the first place. But lucky for you, you can go ahead and watch this video to learn exactly that. Now, if you want a free ad audit or if you want to work with me one-on-one, click the first link in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.